Hi, it's Andrea from Between the Fields Flower Farm. Today I thought we'd do a March garden tour. There isn't a lot to see. There's not much going on this time of year in my zone. I'm in zone 6A. But I want to show you what we're starting with because, as I mentioned in a previous video, I have dreams to transform my whole property into a sanctuary, like a garden park-like feel. So I want you to see what we're starting with, and so you can see the transformation as it happens, and also I'm sure many of you can give me good ideas because I don't know that much about landscape design. I'm just excited to try something new. So let's start right here in this area that I was standing. This is actually a new garden area that I'm hoping to make. I've planted a few things. I have a lilac and a spice bush so far, and a few bulbs I've planted. But this is a really special garden I want to create under this gorgeous crabapple tree because our dog passed away last summer. She was such a special part of our family, and we had her for 14 years, and she loved to lay under this crabapple tree. So this will be such an important garden, and we're going to call it Tess's Garden in honor of her. On the other side of the crabapple tree, I'm going to do some planting, but my kids still love to play on this tire swing, so I have to keep that area for them. So just keep going down here. I don't really have a name for this garden. This is probably our oldest garden area. We have 4 beds here, 2 here and then a little break and then 2 more down there. And this is where we have planted vegetables over the years and just had a more standard garden. It's funny, my husband and I were talking. This is our neighbor's property. That's their clothesline, so we're very close to the edge of our property here. And when we moved in, there were these huge bushes here kind of separating the properties. My husband called them the gumdrop bushes, and we ripped them out because they were just so overgrown and we didn't really like the look at the time. And it's just sort of funny because now I'm planning on kind of just bringing a little bit of a privacy screen there through plants. Something I have learned, I was really keen on ripping out all the bushes when we moved in, and now I'm sort of missing them. So I did learn that I want to have just unique interests all year long. So I'm going to hope to bring in some trees, some evergreens, some bushes, some shrubs, along with all the flowers. Here we have a huge patch of raspberry bushes. They're one of my favorites. So they grow tall and wild, and we will be leaving those because I love raspberries. This garden is quite a mess right now. We have a lot of leaves and weeds that need cleaned up, but I do have some Shirley poppies that came back, as well as a small patch of strawberries here. I'm just going to share this now because it's going to come up, I'm sure, but my husband has his own business and he needs a lot of space on our property, so there are some areas that I will not have access to. I'm just going to use what I have and make it as beautiful as possible, and just be grateful for the space that I do have. There are some things that perhaps are considered a bit of an eyesore, and things are changing here all the time. There's vehicles, there's parts, there's just different things going on, and I can't control what my neighbors have, but just want to touch on that because I know that it's not all gorgeous, but I'm just gonna do what I can with what I have, and I just know that it will be lovely. This area I'm really excited about is a little peony patch, or garden I should say. My husband helped me plant. I believe we have 9 new peony plants in here and 1 giant old peony plant. I do have a few peonies elsewhere on the property as well, but this area just excites me because they're one of my favorite flowers. They were the flowers that I had for my wedding. So I saw the other day a little bit of them poking through the ground. I don't know if you can see that here. So it's coming, even though it's really cold today. Spring is coming. This is probably the biggest area that's newer. Every year I keep asking my husband, can you add another row? Can you add another row? So that's one of the reasons we're deciding to transform this area so we don't have so many strips in, but this will just all be garden area, and maybe, I don't actually have a total plan, but maybe there will be some pathways through there, maybe a seating area, and as I said, some evergreens and winter interests as well. We are really blessed in the fact that even though we only have a little more than half an acre, the back of our property is up against this Amish field, and look at these gorgeous mountains that we have for view. We're just so blessed to have this property and have this view every day. We have gorgeous sunsets here, and we just love the open feel. It can get very windy, but we do love where we live. While I'm right here, I thought I'd show you that basically that post is the edge of our property. So the swing set is not ours, the trampoline is not ours. Just so you know, for in the future, you can kind of gauge what I'm doing and the space that I have to work with. But here's another view of this garden. I don't have names yet. I'm gonna have to come up with names, and I guess that'll depend on what we plant there, what they become. This is just a different angle. And our camper, although it's kind of funny to look at, it is gorgeous inside. My husband and I redid that a few years ago, and we've had such good memories. So even though it might not be the most beautiful thing from the outside, it has created such a good time for our family, and I don't mind it sitting in my yard because we really enjoy it. Okay, we're coming around to the side of our house. This is the driveway. You can see my flower cart out by the road. We had the best intentions to put that away for the winter, and it just never happened, and now it's almost time to be filling it again, so we're just leaving it. But I've always used as much of my landscaping around the house as possible to plant flowers in, and this year I just was talking to my husband about how can we utilize that space even better. Sorry for the traffic. We do live on kind of a busy road, which is helpful for the flower cart, but sometimes it can get noisy. Anyway, this is an area of grass that my husband said he didn't really care about. We don't really use it. My kids don't play here or anything. And so we were just thinking of extending these landscaping beds out all the way to the driveway. And that would give me a lot more space to plant flowers in. It'd be a little too, I think it would be a little bit too far to not have a path. So I'm thinking maybe part way through there should be at least some stepping stones or something in there. But for right now, I have butterfly bushes. I have a lot of hydrangeas in there. They're still young. They haven't really produced a lot for me. There are some peonies out here. As you can see, loads of daffodils. There's a few rose bushes that have sort of just struggled along. I have lots of veronica. Oh, there's some special irises that a friend gave me. And this is a little area that my husband and kids did for me, and I just adore it. This simple little walkway, and actually we made that because the dog would always cut through there, and so we thought we might as well just make her a path. She's no longer with us, but I think what I'd like to do is just extend that type of a path and maybe have it weave through the garden here. I think that would be really beautiful. Let me know what you think. I noticed that these peonies are coming up even more than the ones out back. They're a little more protected from the harsh winds that we get here, and they're along the house. However, I moved these when we moved in, or a few years after we moved in, and they're okay, but they don't really produce that many peonies for me, that many flowers. And I'm thinking it has to do with the amount of sunlight they get here. This is the east side of the house, so the sun comes up in the morning, and then as you can see right now, it's the middle of the day and this is completely shaded. So I'm thinking of moving those after they bloom this year, see if I can get a little better production from them. I have some sedum, there's some balloon flowers that come up in that area, and I'm just not very good at designing, so I sort of just did an every other one in a straight line, and I want to work on that. I want to grow in that area. I did try to put some bushes in there. They're just all right. So I'm hoping to learn more and get some more beautiful things in there. But again, this was completely lined with bushes that were taller than me, and just you could not even see the sidewalk. I see the sidewalk really needs cleaned, but we just ripped them all out. So that's a fresh start, and I have more hydrangeas out here. I have that stick there is showing that my daughter and I planted some ferns. I'm hoping that they'll come up. We planted some back here as well, and I also have some bleeding hearts in this area, so I'm hoping to get more and more of that sort of thing. Oh, there's some astilbe there too. Things aren't coming up yet, so there'll be lots to see in a few short weeks probably. The other side of the porch here is probably the area that I've struggled with the most. When we moved in, there was a giant rhododendron like up over that window there, and we ripped that out. And now I'm kind of sad that I did that. I would love to have a rhododendron in there again, so that'll be something that I'm looking for. I do have some azaleas that I just couldn't understand why they weren't growing. They're never really looking that healthy. And I just recently read about dwarf azaleas. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I'm pretty sure that's what I have here, and that's why they're so small. But this area is very shady and very dry. So if you have any tips for things that would do well in that area, I would sure love to know. My friend gave me some ground cover. This is a type of sedum, she said. So I've planted that in here. That does well. I tried to grow some Solomon's seal, which I was really excited about because it's so gorgeous. I don't think it's coming back, so I'm really disappointed about that. Maybe it's just too soon, I'm not sure. And then the afternoon sun does beat down here on this end, so it's very hot, but it's complete shade in the morning and then extreme hot and sunny in the afternoon. So that's kind of a tough spot, I think. I really hope you can hear me okay, because the wind has really picked up. It's very cold today. But we're almost done with this garden tour. I do have a lot of areas to show you. This is along the other side of our house, the west side, and this has been an area I struggled with for a while too, but it's doing a little better now. I have a lot of daisies in here, and what else? Coneflowers. The mini irises have not really liked it very well. They don't really flower, so I want to work on maybe moving those. But I recently got some 9-bark and planted that. I have 3 plants of 9-bark, and I was also thinking I see my daughter's blind is ripped in her bedroom, but I was also thinking about maybe planting a tree in front of each window. I don't know if maybe some fruit trees would do well here or not. This it doesn't get a lot of sun in the morning, but it gets blasted in the afternoon, and those are our bedrooms, and they can get really, really hot. So I was hoping that maybe a small tree would give us some shade for our bedrooms, and maybe that would also create a little shade here in the afternoon, so it's not quite so hot for the plants. Let's see, we're almost back around, and this is to the well, you can see our patio through there, but this lattice area my husband built for me, that's full of clematis, and I just love when that comes up. We have a butterfly bush here, and I've also planted a few things. They look just like they're right in the middle of the yard, but I'm hoping to grow this area. You can see the crabapple tree. We're back around the house. We've gone in a circle. But I'm sort of hoping that when we sit on our patio here, we will have a line of vision to Tess's garden. And I don't know if we're going to make a path out there or not, but I'm just hoping that having some things here and farther over there, it will draw your eye to the crabapple tree and to Tess's garden. I'm hoping to get maybe either a bird bath or I don't know, maybe a memory stone or something to put under the tree for her. I'm not sure about that, but I'm hoping the right thing will just come up at the right time. Still standing on our patio. This is another area that my husband said I could do a lot more with if I wanted to. Right now the beds are out from the garage maybe about 3 or 4 feet, and he said really I could have like this whole area. So I don't know if I'll dive into that this summer. I don't want to bite off more than I can chew, because gardening is a lot of work. It's a lot of upkeep, and I do still work a full-time job. So while I do get a lot of help from my husband and kids, I just don't want to overwhelm myself the first year of this transformation. But there's a few perennials in here. Mostly last year I grew some giant amaranth, basically amaranth trees. I did plant some tulips in the front here. So this is really like a wide open area that we can just explore with. So I'm excited about that. And he said we could even extend the garden down here. This is a new structure for us, so we'll rake that stone away, but then we could plant out in front of this part too and just extend. So there you have it. Well, thanks for coming along on that garden tour. It was kind of boring probably because there's nothing really in bloom at all. I only just saw my first 2 daffodils that are about ready to be picked. But again, I just wanted to show you what we're working with and what the gardens look like now, because I think it's going to be such an amazing transformation. And again, if you have any ideas or things that have worked well for you, please let me know in the comments. I do, of course, have a budget to work with, so I can't spend too much all at once, but I'm really excited because I have a really favorite day of the year for me is that an Amish greenhouse locally in June they do an auction, and they auction off all of their plants, which includes perennials. Sometimes there might be trees or shrubs as well, evergreens. So I'm really hoping to save my money up for that auction because you can get some really great deals there, and I'm hoping that will be the time to really plant heavily and transform this area. But in the meantime, I will be looking up ideas, I will be searching for sales on Marketplace, because lots of people, just like I did when I started,